This is the first time he's changed. His eyes began to sting and smoke. Every step he takes leaves a trail of fire. The fires of hell began to burn in his soul. Then the skin of his body burned. When everything burned out, he became a burning skeleton. In the dead of night, he would ride his favorite electric bike and roams the streets late at night, searching for the evil within.
Look into my eyes. Your soul is stained by the blood of the innocent. Feel their pain.
A man named Jack. He was supposed to have a happy life, but suddenly his father was diagnosed with terminal cancer. In order to cure his father's illness, Jack signed a soul contract with Satan. Although Satan cured his father's cancer, but he didn't let his father live to a ripe old age. In an accident, he lost his father forever, and he became Satan's evil knight, waiting for Satan's call. After that, he kept trying to kill himself, but no matter how much he ruined his body, he always came back to life miraculously. Not a scratch on his body. He thought he was going to die like that, but then Satan appeared before him again. He was told to kill a man called Blackheart. It turned out that Blackheart was Satan's son. Satan never died. He has never been able to control the power. In order to overthrow Satan's rule, the black-hearted devil came to Earth to gather his men. He planned to take over the Earth and seize Satan's power. Satan, for the sake of his position, Satan summoned Jack, the Ghost Rider. Jack resisted in his heart, but he couldn't control his body. With the appearance of Satan's cane, the motorcycle flew out like a beast. Everywhere it went, there was nothing left. There was only a line of fire in the ground. When Jack arrived at the warehouse in the suburbs, the motorcycle drifted beautifully and threw Jack out of the way with ease. When Jack came to a stop, his eyes began to smoke. When Jack walked out of the warehouse, he saw the black-hearted demon coming out. Suddenly, the wind demon came out. He grabbed Jack and hung him on a chain. Jack pulled down the chain to kill Blackheart, but just as he stepped out of the warehouse, the water demon grabbed him. The earth demon was still making sarcastic remarks, but Jack threw him out with a punch. Then Jack covered the chains in hellfire. Bind the earth demon to death. The earth demon was burnt to death on the spot. Jack realized that the Blackhearts had disappeared. He called for his battery-operated car and chased after the Blackhearts, but he searched all night, but he couldn't find them. When the sun rose, Jack's flames slowly disappeared. When the flames disappeared completely, Jack was back to his old self. He didn't take a few steps before he fainted. When Jack woke up, he found himself in a graveyard. He wanted to ride his bike out of the cemetery, but the graveyard keeper seemed to know about him and was willing to help him, but Jack didn't want to talk to him. When Jack returned home, he was surrounded by the police. It turns out that the police were at the scene. They found Jack's license plate. They thought Jack had killed someone, but Jack didn't admit that he did it. The police have no real evidence. They could only lock him up for the time being. What they didn't know, something terrible was about to happen. Even though Jack kept explaining, the police pushed him in. As the night wore on, Jack became more and more agonized. A bunch of prisoners who don't know how to die, trying to bully the newcomers. Then with a flick of his hand, the steel chains melted away. When Jack walked out of the police station, a battery-operated car was waiting for him. When Jack found Blackheart, he was blocked by the wind demon. The wind demon kept taunting Jack. He couldn't catch the wind. Jack got angry and yanked on the chains, and the fires of hell spread through the chains. As Jack spun faster and faster, the wind demon was turned to ash. When Jack returned home, he found his girlfriend lying on the floor. He wanted to help her up, but he was pushed against the wall by the Blackheart demon. Jack instantly transformed. He used the Eye of Judgment on Blackheart, but the demon didn't react because there was no soul in his body. Darkseid knocked Jack to the ground. He asked him to exchange his soul contract for his girlfriend. In order to save his girlfriend, Jack went to the graveyard to find the graveyard keeper. The graveyard keeper finally took out the soul contract. He was willing to protect Jack for the rest of his life. With the sound of a whistle, a dark and handsome horse came running. When the gravekeeper sat on it, it turned out that the gravekeeper was the last Ghost Rider. His existence is to protect the contract. Jack traveled thousands of miles with him. When they arrived at their destination, the gravekeeper threw Jack a gun. He told Jack to hide in the dark and left. It turned out to be the last time the gravekeeper transformed. Before Jack reached the church, he was pulled into the water by the water demon. He wanted to drown Jack, but Jack transformed instantly. He used the Eye of Judgment and burned the water demon into vapor. When Jack walked into the church and gave the soul contract to the Blackheart demon, Jack instantly transformed. He tried to kill Blackheart. He was knocked to the ground by Blackheart. No matter what Jack did, Blackheart always remained unharmed. At that moment, the sun rose slowly. Jack was back to his human form. Blackheart opened the pact and released all the evil souls. When the evil souls were released, Blackheart drew all the souls into his body. When all the souls were in his body, Blackheart's power became immense. He's going to rule the whole world. Jack took out the gravekeeper's gun and shot at the Dark Lord, although it was useless. But Jack didn't give up. Eventually, Jack was pushed into the darkness of the church. Jack was instantly transformed into the Ghost Rider. He used the Eye of Judgment on the Blackheart. thousands of souls burned, and Blackheart suffered thousands of times more. In the end, Blackheart returned to hell. At the end of the story, Satan appeared again. He wanted to break the contract with Jack, but Jack didn't agree. He wants to use this curse to kill Satan.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.